Could you tell us about the painting, Robert? Exactly.
Well, it's an old Aberdeen Trawlers best sitting is just got off a black and white photograph in a school book. It's essentially the old drifters, steam drifters, hardened drifters, keeping the same thing. You have the monks at the back, and then below here, and the brass clock, and the table with the sections to keep it fit, rolling off the table. Everything's in bulk, that is in a basin. And big basins for the gravy and the beef and so on. And they eat with their fingers, of course. It is tired guys, been hailing fish, working with fish for long hours, I would say, but it looks like. And there's the old guy there in the corner. And of course they kept the spoons not in here. They put with they'd cook that with the satin here. He'd have been seated there. It's Maggie Doors, who's he here? As it was in the old days, a while back, 100 years ago. This was got done in the 1930s. Man, that's Hussey's. This was Circus Eaters. This was Love's who's as my grandfather's. The grandfather and his brother, Wall had a house here, it was Buchans, which I had to put in there, it was given back before that. That's my granny's Ricken house. She had a house here in my time, although that was the house that they were in further back. And she used to smoke a rick at fish there. And she had a drying rack over here, that's doing the rack. So we got the pebbles along the shore. And she dried her fish, salt fish. And Maggie Doe, of course, dried her fish doing her tea. The Maggie Doe's wash house, which is gone now. And still is a Mock Fleary Maggie Doe's, of course. And there's some of his houses would have been that, but they're fleared later on. It's the other bones, and that's a stable for the horse was kept. The horse used to take fish wavies to the country. A lot of fish wavies, and then they went befit through the farms because they couldn't have carried on creels all the way up to Mormon and Stricken and Pittslinger for the sale of the fish. And all these kiddies, Alekies. There was a half house on here now. This house is gone, and this is built up. There's a house in there, of course. I put it back in time just before the double-storied houses were built. Around about 1860 they started coming in. There are 50 houses like this that have disappeared even in my day around this area there. So there you are, so much for historical preservation.
Is the house at the very bottom of the picture, the left-hand corner, right down here?
There?
No, right down at the very bottom of the picture. Right down, no, next thing. No.
It's Alkies.
No, this thing down here, though. Aye. You were saying that was
that
typical...
That would have been me on the size, aye.
It was typical, like a half house, was it?
Aye, it was just like a half the size of that houses would have been the original houses. Size of the original houses, then they built a house on top of that size and used the half house as a wash house. That was existed even in this house here, had that. And that's an all clay house I have through there. Clay so, was, you see, the clay came for just up at the railway line. We used to take clay out of there. We used to mark bowls and peaks. They'd mark peaks with them. And again became the peakers.
Oh aye, bulls, aye, little wee clay bulls.
Clay clay peak bulls. We played bulls, and the penalty was if you could span between your bowl and somebody else's bowl, we stuck them against the wall. Then you hit the 4 feet a peak. We used to mark them ourselves, but you get a whole packet for a make. A make's a halfpenny. A make. Van Gogh style. This is Canada at the back. TV floor. That's where George and his daughters, and my daughter Stella.
Aye.
I got out for Billy, and it's It's framed, it's a print of a huge painting in Denmark. It's a Danish painting in the museums in Denmark. And it says it's a Browden family, Christmas Day, 1900. And you see how they spent their Christmas around the Bible. You see?
Mm-hmm.
You know, a far cry it is for the Christmas Day. That's how it should be spent.
Mm-hmm. That's what it's all about.
That's what it's about. And this museum has a lot of paintings in the Alroan lifeboats being pushed into the water by horses and things, and fishermen, big paintings that Billy has up at his house actually. It's called the Skagens Museum. That's for Denmark.
That's Robert.
Well, here's a McTaggart style painting, a Scottish master, and it's a herrinole. It's really a West Coast herrinole, and you see you've got the four fishermen there coming in with some herring, and it's wind and rain through wind and rain. And the original that I saw in Dundee is in Dundee Museum. It's twice the size of that. McTaggart painted pretty big paintings, but the thing is, McTaggart was our most famous painter, and he was an impressionist. He had some training in France, and he developed an individualistic Scotch impressionist style, which is second to none in my opinion. There are about 4 McTaggarts in Aberdeen art gallery, and Edinburgh is a collection of 4 beauties of the West Coast. He really captures the atmosphere of the West Coast. Now, for 3 years running, they hadn't been on display in the National Gallery in Edinburgh. And I complained, and I asked Alex Salmon, the MP, to see about it this year. And I've discovered that the head of the art galleries in Edinburgh, the National Galleries, is an Englishman. And for 3 years in July, has there been a Scotch painting hung, there are French paintings and all the rest of them, there's Scotch painting hung in Edinburgh, and they're magnificent paintings. And they're painted in Scotland. And they have these bunny paintings, but the best place to go for Scotch paintings is Kirkcaldy. They have 38 McTaggarts, 38 Berbos. Today, as a herrinole, I used to have herrinoles here, you see, and this is about 25, 26 feet.
Mm-hmm.
And they come in maybe 10 or 20 crowns, or just maybe 10 miles off, a few miles off here. The heron used to come right close in, of course, in that days. And then they sat them in the bottles. Just on the shore here, they sat them in the bottles. Mm-hmm. And there were 1,200 yollies in this village back another year ago. Sail yollies. I went to sail yollies myself. No engines. The sail had the dishes reefed in that sail. And she's really going some with the wind and the rain. Cut off a photograph slide, see. Yeah.
All right.
That's Stella.
Mm-hmm.
And my Stella, baby,
Uh-huh.
and me. And it's got Fisherman's Farewell. And behind it is a broch in the sailing bed days. You see it's a broch herba.
Aye.
Down there with a horse and cats and herring bottles. Here. It's done in a modern style, and a guy called Christopher Wood painted like that. He flung himself, well, he committed suicide, I can't remember, he was under a train or something, age of 30. And a great loss to the Penzance School in Cornwall. He painted just before the war, and that's his style. I painted here again about the Banff down to Yarmouth, and there's 2 women waving a tool as we used out to the past. The Holly Bully knew, of course. He didn't walk back here. If you did go with that tool, and there's a clips in Gabriel. And that's his money style clips. You'll see a picture in Aberdeen. This clips painted like that, and this sort of tiki kind of strokes. And very white coloration he used. White represents light. White is always light in painting. Well, I hope they have an exhibition one day for charity or for the Belger Holly or the Works. And I've got about 40 fair tractors. I could also combine with maybe folk would lend. There's a lot of painted by Ali. Ali was a painter and he did a lot of paintings in the village. If we could get a collection and maybe do a charity exhibition for this as a background. There's a broch. That was that ship that was sunk in the Bermudas Triangle. She was in a race. Marquises is her name. She was in the broch. But this is a Lowry style. I do different styles, you see. If I see a colour in a picture I fancy, I just do it in the style. And that's the cut and shore. Yeah, the barely stacking boilers. This is Annie Henry's before it was done up in the early Foolies. And this side was a shipyardy, I think, for building yawls. It's going new like. But it was there in my day. It was full of barking pans and stuff. That's the Belger squealy air, the Belger Holly look. Squealy. There's been a squeal since well back 1800, I think 1820 must have moved. The squeals come in, compulsory schooling. That's going to have been my knife. Oh, this is Fisher Boy. Poor Fisher Boy. I've enlarged these lugs in his hands to make him look more primitive and poor. Bare feet, poor boy. He did Helen every morning for his breakfast. He broke up in boiled cod and salt fish. We say fish, and Brooker say fish. We say fish. We say eggs, and they say eggs. Eggs, we say. Here's a Picasso look, we should put in there. Oh, here's again we're back to McTaggart style. Message from the Sea is a bottle. The Boykie and Blackberries. And there's the Carvella. They just George's bought. He's held aboard this cut in there, look, some accent. The gunnets. I just they finished that, you know, they pleased the gunnets. This is a balanced waiting look for the livers. Malleys will only eat livers. Malleys ate the fish themselves, they just wait for the livers. They like the old and oily birds. That's a full Mallee. We've got a Mallee. Gunnets, we've got Solons, Solon geese. Here's the drifters. There's a father's drifter. Stevens, Jimmy Love and Doug Love and Charlie Love and William Love. The Stevens and Charlie Doreen, FR292 Stevens. A buddy I am drifter. There's McConaughey's Lomlook, the 10th Heron. 10th Heron doesn't exist now. You see they stopped the Heron, stopped in Dagenham for 70 years and lost the market to the Danes didn't stop. It kept Dagenham Heron who were winners. But we had to stop for 70 years till the Heron, they should have left the death net to Dagenham and keep the market going. The 10th Heron, Rob Bry, the best Heron in the world. 10 McConaughey's. Now it's gone. They will be reinstated. Used to get them in the army in India. Then like a 10 Heron from the South End in the hate country. And here's the cut shore again. Where early Foolies again, but then up as time the shine's gone. Shine's gone, and there's the Belger Foolie. A steen for the lakes and the cotton shore. Here's somebody ridding up the heron trawl net. A bit of heron net, and I think that's a Christmas rose. he was aboard. That was I heal him in the Christmas Rose. It's clean out for a photograph. Darkening and that's what they call low key picture. Low contrast. There's a Lowry, they're all broken. No, it's arranged that. It's no, the artist arranges you see the barrels look are pointing to there. And there's a triangle pointing here. And it's sort of musical notes, and then you have the squares. I painted the squares and circles and triangles. There's your squares, and there's your circles, and there's your triangles. And it's arranged like a sepia photograph, an all sepia photograph. You see? And the repeated shapes give rhythm, and the shadows, rhythms. And I'm just pointing here, focusing the eye in here, you see. So it's an arranged composition. The artistic mind that rearranges things. The colours, of course. It's obviously a mauve painting with a complementary yellow. Mauve yellow complementary through it, and it's toned in. It's well toned in really. The mauves are up here, right through the painting, the yellows are through the painting. We call that toning in.
What have you seen down here, Robert?
Oh, that's a Van Gogh in a kitty loch. The string is in the rod. It's a famous Van Gogh, but only he's a Portuguese boss, and I decided later I like the coloration. There's a cotton cack. There's a fiddling, you see? A kitty loch in your tune. Well, that's that's gathered tatters. We used to hire a drill of tatters, you see. Half a croon for a drill. The plant were in tatters, hook him up for champions, and take him down and bail him. Butter. Bloody like that. This is the All War Memorial, Belger in Cotton. Here was Joe Barley's bear, because he'd milk cows here, and he'd sell milk through the village in the morning. And Mary Lunan had milk, selling milk, penny a pint, and make for half a pint. He gave you a jug, you flog it and got it. And again, throw the ladies, you took a swig out of it. It was warm straight to the cool. Tuberculosis and everything. That's a Belger training as a railway shady. And as you see, it's the Van Gogh swells. How can I want that is there? This is squeal, of course. This is the Almonds in the Cotton Hall, built in 1926. The Belgians gave them the bobbies back and they put it in the harbour because they fished it out of sight, so they built the hall. A dance hall, as the Belgians say. And then the kirk, McGregor's Kirky. This is McGregor's Manse. The kirk up at Raith was a free kirk, and that's just such a Scotland.
Right, was that?
Mother's John and Joey. The boy George, or George, I think it was called. It was raked. It was raked in the cotton shore. And they put it in, as you put it in the papers. So we put a photograph of the rake in the papers and say it's high time with the hairbars. When I was campaigning for the Belgian Harbour, 10 years campaigning, and you only figure that tea. This is a Port Lake. That's a beacon. It's a barcode.
It's a stormy sea up above and all.
Ah, yeah, well, that's a conquest. FR1. It was the dates it started with that boat. And I was 12 weeks in Ireland. I trapped up the Sul Skerry for her and ran back to Shetland.
And that's a cotton shore.
That's the cotton shore. Well, that's the Argolese. And there's Maggie Doors, Neil and Bones. That's my grandfather's house, my daddy's house. The Love, all Love, Father Love, we call him Mother Love. Father's dad Love. Father Love's father was called Belger. Belger's father was called James. James's father was called General. General. He's buried in the U2 Kirkard. General started the cotton mark. Today he's got General, and they gave him the army, you know. Somebody gave him a sword and a ring for something. So that's and as Mother Love drinking was he. And then she died of sad fish there in the rock here. That's Buchan's house. And Serkis, the mining house. And that was his brother Wall in those houses. His folk went in there. And so they are all lived together at the cotton shore.